everyone, it's NonnaGrace, and I'm from Western New York. Today was a busy day.
Where are you today?
Oh, where am I? I'm in Western New York. I said it, I think.
Yeah, usually you've been saying that you weren't.
Oh, I'm not in Texas. No.
That's true.
I'm not in Indiana either. I'm in Western New York. Oh, good grief. Well, anyways, today we went to a family picnic. My Giambra family was having a big picnic. They had one last year, but it was in Florida. Couldn't go to Florida. I went to this one, and there was a lot of people there. I was going to share a little bit, but it was so noisy that you would not understand nor hear anything, but a lot of noise. But I do have a little video of what I cooked to share for the picnic. It's not a tutorial, that is for sure. I am leaving all the mistakes or the accidents that I made. No mistake. It was a good meal. The meal turned out good.
Just a few little boo-boos.
Just a little boo-boos that I made, yes. And I'm going to leave them in. I was thinking I could take them out, but when it happened again, I figured, well, I might as well leave it in. We'll see the big mess that I make, or what I do, what I make. So I hope you watch it. It's a delicious dish. If I could taste it, I can only imagine what it tastes like.
It tasted very, very, very good.
It went over very well, too. That too was way far away from the other words. But I'll cut, and you won't even know it.
Yep.
I do a lot of editing on these videos. I also am going to show you the chickens, because I had a request to show the chickens. And trying to catch the babies is really difficult. They're usually hidden, or they shy away from me because they haven't been around me very much. Little lady is still very protective of them, and she clucks and they follow her around. It's too bad I have one that's a boy and one that's a girl. I'm glad I've got the one girl. And the one girl is black, and I'm thinking her name should be Betty. You know the song Black Betty? Well, that's what she makes me think of when I see her. I think of a song. So that might be her name. I haven't decided completely. I'll see how she acts. If she acts like a Betty, whatever a Betty acts like, then that will be her name. But sometimes when I wait until they're bigger to name them because their personalities start to shine. Well, let's just go to that video and you can see. First, I poured in the onions. I forgot to start it from the very beginning for you. But I poured the onions into the pan, and it has juice from a steak that I cooked. And I'm just going to soften the onions. Then I will add the Hamburg ground beef for it. The onions will soften while the ground beef is cooking, and I've got the ground beef thawed, and I packaged it. I think they're 1 pound a piece. But I packaged it in pepperoni bags and in a Ziploc bag. And we'll just take this part off. If I can. I don't know if I can. Probably not. Just drop it in there. I have to cut it. I got to go. That's one mistake made. I don't know if I'll keep that in or not. Whoa, I did it again. Can you believe that? Whoa, it's hot. I think I'll cut the next one because I'm getting burned by the onions. Onions are hot. Drop in there, beef. Doesn't want to drop in. Oh, there. Whew. My fingers got it. Turn this down even more. This one I shall cut, because I'm not going to have that trouble again. See if it will cut it. This knife doesn't want to cut the plastic because the plastic is tough. But it's tougher to take it out of the plastic when it's over the heat. There. Break it up a little bit. Make it easier to do.
We need your other tool to break it up.
I'll get it.
There you go.
Thank you. I never knew I had a texture. Didn't like my fingers dirty until I was in the school, and we were doing glue, and I every few minutes I wanted to wash my fingers off, but because the kids are supposed to learn to tolerate texture and dirty fingers, I had to tolerate dirty fingers too. I need to turn this up a little bit. I turned it way down so the onions wouldn't burn. Now that the ground beef is all cooked, I'm going to take some of the grease off and I'll save it. I've got the ladle already. I'm going to put it in a jar. I want to leave some for the pasta because I will have to add olive oil, but this will be much more flavorful, I think. It gets hot, so you might want to use this too. I then put a jar of diced tomatoes in. It's supposed to be crushed tomatoes, but I had diced tomatoes, so that's what I put in. I'm dumping them in, and I'm going to put a little water in the can and rinse that and put that into. I don't like to waste anything. I stir in a little bit, and then I'm saying, well, I think I'll add the salsa. Do you think I should need to add another can of tomatoes or salsa? And we decided we would add the salsa and not the tomatoes. So I've got the salsa, and I'm going to open that up and pour that in, and then we'll give it a stir. We'll see what it looks like in a second. I'm still stirring. And I pour it in, and of course I'm going to rinse a little bit of that out too because I don't like to leave any in the jar. As you can see, the jar is a little coated. So Jim picked up the spoon, it looks like, and stirring a little bit. And then I pour the water that I rinsed the jar, and I'd say that looks like a good jar for grease, which it is a good jar for grease. And then we stir it and let it simmer for a while. We put it on the stove, or leave it on the stove, and it simmers for a while. It looks really good and tasty. I bet this smells good. Too bad I can't smell it. And everybody says it smells good. Emily says it smells good. And I also put a pan of water on for it to boil. And it's boiling, so now we're going to add the salt to that. And I tell you that you should always salt your pasta before you cook it, not after you cook it. And because water is supposed to taste like sea salt, I'm going to add a good tablespoon of salt to this water. Then I will stir it a little bit, I believe. I can't remember what I did. I have to do a voiceover because the sound did not transfer when I was doing it. And then I will put a pound of ziti pasta in it. Is what I'm going to put in there. I'm putting everything away as I use it, if you notice. And there's the ziti pasta. I'm going to open that up, and we're going to put 1 pound of pasta in with the boiling water that has salted now. And you can hear it pour in, but you can't hear it pour in. And then I cook that, and I cook it probably about 8 minutes. I don't want it overcooked because we're going to put it in a crock pot. and I want it to be just right. So I stir it for a few minutes. I'm looking on the box to see how long they say it should cook, and they don't really tell you because they have a recipe. I think they say 10 minutes for these pastas, but I'm going to cook it a little less because I want it to be in the crock pot, and it will be tasty. So Jim is stirring it now. As you can see, it's his hand stirring the pasta. It looks like it's going to be a delicious dish. It's got about 2 minutes more to go, I think, but I'm going to test it just to make sure. Yeah, it looks like it could go a lot longer. Drain the hot pasta or hot water out of it and give her a test. Maybe a minute more. Well, now we're going to drain the pasta. I'll get my two pot holders. Whoops. Get the pot holder and the pot holder. Turn off the burner. And I got my school of pasta out. And we'll pour that in there. Oh, that's hot, the steam. Ooh, you can get a facial and a real burn if you're not careful. Whew, usually I pour away from me, but because I'm trying to show you, it's burning me a little bit. Oops, there's still a few in there. I'm going to get them out. Oh, that's hot. My goodness, it's hot. These pot holders aren't worth beans, apparently. I gotta pour it my way. Whoops. So I can see what I'm doing. Whew, this is a hot pan. And this I'm gonna pour into the crock pot. I'm gonna pour this into the crock pot. And then I'm gonna pour my other frying pan into the crock pot. It's going to be hard to do. Heavy.
How to do that one?
I got it. But it's going to be heavy. Whoops. I want to go this way with it. Oh my goodness, I don't show cooking videos very often, and this is terrible what I do. That's the reason I don't show them. I got to get a spatula and scooch this little bit in there and stir this. This is going to look good. Tasty too. I can imagine what it tastes like. Wish I could smell it.
It smells really good.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
I can't smell any of it. I think I've got it all around. And I want to put the rest of the little bit that's in the frying pan into the casserole or the crock pot. It is a casserole, I guess. But it's a crock pot too, and this cast iron is heavy. Whew, I can't do it, I guess. Thank you. It's heavy. It's a heavy pan to hold with one hand. Okay, that's good enough. I got enough. Got it. Good enough. And now we'll just stir this a little. Oh, you made a cake. Ooh,
I did.
Emily made a Jell-O cake. And she brought Cool Whip to put on top of it. Very good. This is what I made.
Seemed easy enough to make.
It is easy enough. This is easy enough too. Just I don't like doing videos because I show a lot of mistakes. Wait till you see this. It's got a lot of mistakes in it. I need the washcloth just to wipe the edge. Like the chefs do, they clean up their edges. I guess I have to clean up my edge. too. Whoops. Okay. That's good. Now I'll just cover it and I'll plug it in on warm. It's got a nice dial on here. It says warm. We'll put it on warmer and we'll just plug it in. I gotta bring it to plug it in. You don't have to do any more. That's good. I had a request to show the chickens. It's been very hard to find the babies and the mama because she's all over the place. But here's little lady and her babies. Wish they would have been both girls, but we have one boy and one girl. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I went to bed really early last night, real early, like 7:30 I think it was. I got 10.5 hours of sleep. I was exhausted after that long 13.5 hour ride home, and I didn't even drive it. I rode it. But it was very tiring. I'm sure Jim was tired too. Well, have a great night, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.